Hello again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Melissa.
And a few weeks ago we got a Craigslist bundle with a 5200 in it. But along with that we also got an NES bundle. And I'm kind of new to the NES. I didn't grow up with an NES, I grew up with the Sega Master System. I didn't get my first Nintendo until NES until 1997 actually. And by then it was even the Super Nintendo was kind of already on its way out. The PlayStation and the Saturn and the N64 were already out for at least a year by that time. So some of the stuff I got is new to me. I'm sure it's familiar to many of you, but it's all, some of it's new to me. And I do have NES games that I've had since 1997. Some of the ones that I'd always heard were really good games. But there's a whole library out there of games that I'm not at all familiar with. And I've been collecting a lot more of them this year. And
Thanks to YouTube.
Thanks to YouTube so anyway, I have all these games to go through. But before we do, let's talk about the hardware first. So the bundle did come with an NES system, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with by now. It's a little dirty, but it does work. So this will be my third NES. I actually got my first one in 1997, and then last year I got my second one. I bought a boxed version, a complete in box, because I always wanted to have one in the box. And I also like to have duplicate consoles in case one of them breaks. So now I have three NESs, so that's nice. This one needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It also came with 3 controllers. I'm not sure all of these work. I think I tested them and only one of them ended up working. And one of them's got a little rattle inside, so I'm sure it's just one of the posts or something.
It could be the baby's maraca now.
Yeah, the baby can play with this one,
yeah.
I think. Anyway, 3 controllers, they need to be cleaned up. These aren't too hard to come by, so no big deal there. I have plenty of spares. Came with an official NES AC adapter and RF unit. This is an NES RF unit. Some of them will say Super Nintendo and Nintendo on them, but this one is just Nintendo. That's nice to have, even though I mostly use the AV cables. Came with a gray zapper. That's kind of nice. I do have some. I think I have one orange one and maybe another gray one, but I do prefer the gray ones. I think it just kind of that's the original color I'm used to from back in the day. I have no idea if this works because we don't actually have a CRT hooked up right now, and of course these don't work with modern flat screen television, so have to give that one a try. And it also came with an NES Advantage, which is my second one.
Yeah, you
I got
one up at PRG.
Got one at PRGE, and this is the second one. So I haven't tried either one of them yet. They both need to be cleaned up, and but anyway, looking forward to it. Yeah. So one of them will be mine, and one of them will be yours,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
All right. So that's it for the hardware. So that came with a number of games, and I'll just kind of go through these real quickly. These are games that I don't know much about, and I'm not sure they're really all that great. But if there's one here that you guys think is a hidden gem, let me know. But the first one here is Back to the Future. The label's pretty badly damaged. The spine here is completely missing. But certainly I've heard of this game, and I don't know if it's good or bad. But it's Back to the Future, and I don't know. Maybe you NES collectors can tell me which way do you put the. Which way do you think you should put the cartridge in? Do you put the cartridge in the sleeve so the label is visible? Or do you put the cartridge in the sleeve so that the finger grip is easily accessible? I've always been doing it this way. So yeah. Let me know which way is the preferred way to do this. Although, well, I do put these in universal game cases now. I still put them in the dust sleeves because I like that. But anyway, Back to the Future. Also have Dragon Warrior. This is one that I already have. This is one that I kind of knew was a classic NES game, so I already have this one. Again, the spine is damaged on this. This game, I think, this is the one Nintendo gave away with subscriptions in Nintendo Power. So I guess these things are pretty common. I don't really know. I've come across numerous copies, so it's no big deal there. RBI Baseball 2. This is a 10-yen game. I'm kind of interested in collecting these just because they're unlicensed, and
right, yeah.
I have a few. I have Alien Syndrome and Gauntlet, and this is my third, RBI 2. RoboCop, also damaged label on the spine here, and somebody put a sticker on here. Don't know anything about this. I'm assuming it's based on a movie. It's probably not worth a lot of time. Skate or Die. I have a copy of this. I got this at Goodwill earlier this year. This one's in pretty good shape, but it's a duplicate for me now. Spy Hunter, of course, the classic arcade. There's a game similar to this on the Sega Master System, Action Fighter, which is actually the first game I ever bought with my own money for the Sega Master System. So eager to try this one out. Spy Hunter. Tag Team Wrestling. I don't know. Don't know anything about it. Total Recall. Again, movie based.
Yeah.
Based on a movie. Probably not worth a lot of time. And Track and Field. This is kind of exciting because I bought Track and Field. I got Track and Field 2 in like for $1 at PRGE. So now I have Track and Field 1. Great.
And we know how you like to get complete.
Yeah, I like to. Well, yes, I like to get the series if
Yes.
if I get a game. Okay, so moving on. These are some games that I know nothing about, but I think when I tried them, they seemed kind of interesting, and so I'm looking forward to playing them a little bit more. Athena. I can't even remember what if this was a side scroller, if this was some kind of a shoot 'em up, but whatever it was, it seemed kind of interesting. It's by SNK, so kind of interested in learning more about that one, trying that one out. The Legend of Cage, I've heard people pronounce it Kage. I don't know what the right one is. The Legend of Kage or Cage. I think the Portlandian recently mentioned it's similar to the Ninja Spirit for the TurboGrafx, and at least in the way that there's sort of a floaty jump. And I really like Ninja Spirit for the TurboGrafx. That's one of the games I have for it. So kind of interested in trying this one out a little bit more. I've heard some things about it. Legendary Wings. I think this might be a shoot 'em up. So pretty interested in this. Again, I've tried it. I don't really remember much about it, but it seems I've heard of this one before. Russian Attack. Again, another one that I've heard of, don't know much about. Looking forward to trying that one. Sky Kid. Again, I think this might be some kind of a shooter or something, so I don't know what the heck. I'm kind of interested in that. And then Star Force. Now this one, when I tried, this one reminded me an awful lot of Astro Warrior for the Sega Master System. And I looked online briefly to see if they were maybe the same game, and I couldn't find anything that suggested that. So maybe one of them is just a loving imitation of the other. And I don't know. This one I think probably came first. As I understand it, this was an arcade game. Star Force. So similar to Astro Warrior on the Sega Master System. So I like the shoot 'em up. So kind of interested in that. Next bundle I have here, the next group I have here are sort of the classics that even somebody who was a Sega Master System fan kind of knew growing up that these were NES classics. We've got RC Pro-Am here. This is one that I already have. I bought it many years ago because again I knew it was kind of a classic. Really enjoyed this game. Tetris again. Tetris on the Nintendo.
Who doesn't like Tetris?
It's Tetris, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have the Tengen version, but this version I guess is considered maybe not as good, but it's a classic. So of course I've got that. Rad Racer seems like an imitation of Outrun. Again, a Sega game. I'm a fan. So Rad Racer. This is a duplicate. I've had Rad Racer for many years. Blades of Steel. Again, one of the Konami, the Silver Label sports games. I bought this earlier this year, and now I've got another one. Neither one of them is the red label. They're both identical, so it's a duplicate. And then Commando and Bionic Commando. Now I have Bionic Commando because of course that's one that has been a classic. So I've had this for many years, but I was glad to get Commando with it. I don't know if one's a true sequel to the other or not, but they seem like they're in the same series, and so I was pretty excited to get Commando for the NES. So that was good. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 1 and 2. So 1 and then the arcade game. I already have both of these. I had them for many years, and so these are duplicates. So yeah, I mean they're just the classic. And then this, I got Punch Out. Now everybody of course knows that Mike Tyson's Punch Out's a classic. I bought the Mike Tyson's version, figuring well that's the version to have. But this is the non-Mike Tyson version. This is a regular version, and so this is just kind of for completeness. I'm pretty excited to get the alternate Punch Out for the collection. And then the licensed version of Gauntlet. I didn't know this existed. I have the unlicensed version, the black cartridge version. But this is clearly the it's still Tengen. It appears to be the exact same game. I'm not sure if the actual binary, the ROM, is different, but it appears to be the same game, and it's just in a licensed cartridge. So it's a duplicate, but for collection purposes, it's kind of neat to have that.
Yeah.
So I was excited to get that. And then the next set here is some Black Label games, and I knew kind of from back in the day that the first batch of NES games came with these Black Label, and I always kind of liked the artwork on these. But somebody was saying, and I forget who was talking about that maybe this is something that this is sort of a subset of NES games that you can collect, all the Black Label. And I thought, well, that sounds like a kind of a fun idea, so I might try that. I have some other ones, but there's a couple in here, and the first one here is 10-Yard Fight. Again, I'm not sure this is the greatest football game, but certainly not Tecmo Bowl, right, or Super Bowl, which are considered the greatest. But it's a Black Label, so excited to get that. Balloon Fight, another one I don't know much about. I've heard of it. That's just dust, thank goodness. Don't know much about it. I guess this is a 5-screw also. Anyway, Balloon Fight. And Duck Hunt. Now, of course, I have Duck Hunt Super Mario combo. So it's kind of neat to get just the Duck Hunt plain and the Black Label. Excite Bike, again, this is a classic. I got this probably one of the first NES games I ever got was Excite Bike. So this is a Black Label. This is a 5-screw too. So anyway, it's a duplicate for me. Kung Fu. Maybe all these Black Labels are 5-screws. See, I just don't know. Anyway, Kung Fu. Don't know much about it. Pro Wrestling, again, I don't know anything about these. And then Super Mario, same with Duck Hunt. I was glad to get, I have the combo, but it's kind of neat to have the variant with just the Super Mario Bros. Game. The label's a little damaged down here, which I guess is one disadvantage of putting in the games this way, because they can catch on there. But, so those are the Black Labels. So I have a few others, I don't even remember what they are. But I do have a few others, and so this definitely pads out that collection. And then along with Super Mario Brothers, they had Super Mario 2 and 3. I guess three is kind of, it's weird to me. I can't figure out 3 because 3 is, I guess it's got
we see it everywhere.
We see it everywhere, and the price seems like it's pretty. It's like $10. I mean, I don't know what the exact price is, but it always seems that 3 is kind of a sought after game. But I see it all the time. This has got to be my 3rd or 4th copy of Super Mario 3. Super Mario Brothers 2, on the other hand, is a little bit harder to come by, and this is I think this is my 2nd or 3rd copy. I forget, but these are duplicates. I'll give them to somebody or trade them. So that's it for most of the games, except for what I consider to be the what are there, 4 games here? 4 games that made me want to get this bundle, and I only know a little bit about what these games are because of the videos I watch, YouTube, all the guys that we talked about, like NES Complex and Retro Liberty and Luigi Freakout and the guys who kind of are big Nintendo guys. So I didn't know much about these games other than what I had heard from them. And so there's another Black Label game, Donkey Kong, which I guess is a little bit, I wouldn't say it's rare. It's a little bit harder to come by apparently. I have the Donkey Kong Classics, which has it's the orange. It has Donkey Kong 1 and 2, or Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. But this is just Donkey Kong, and as I understand it, this is one of the harder to come by Black Labels. So I kind of thought, oh well, that'll be nice to have. So that's good. And then this one, Chubby Cherub. Now, apparently this isn't a very good game, but it's also apparently sought after. And this is a 5-screw version. I don't know if somewhere I got the impression that there might be a 3-screw, but this is a 5-screw version, and apparently it's a sought after game, even if it's not very good, but it's in good shape. And so when I saw that, I thought, oh well, that's a collectible game. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this. I don't think I'll ever get a complete Nintendo collection. That's just not something that I do. But this seems like something I can use maybe to trade for somebody who cares more about this game. But I haven't decided. So Chubby Cherub. And then the 2 that I was really interested in. I tried to find these games at PRGE, and they were there. They were a little bit expensive, but he had Dragon Warrior 3 and Dragon Warrior 4, and I've been trying to get the Dragon Warrior games. Now, I would rather get them complete,
Right.
or with manual and map, but these are loose, but the price was right, so at least I can play them still. There is some damage on the, there is some marker damage on the spine here. Somebody wrote, I guess they were selling these things for $7.95 and $5.95, which is a low price, I think, for what they're worth now. I did try them. The batteries work on both, and I'm thrilled to have these. I need Dragon Warrior 2 now, but I do have Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 for Game Boy, and I have Dragon Warrior 3 for Game Boy Color. But I like to play the games on kind of the original system.
Yeah.
I know these are Famicom games, but they were ported to the NES, so I want to play them on the NES if I can. And so I have played Dragon Warrior 1. I haven't played 2. Obviously, I haven't played 3 and 4. I just got these, but looking forward to trying these out.
Yeah.
And these are kind of the two that made me think, I should get this. This bundle. So I forgot to mention, none of these come with manuals or boxes. They were all loose, but it's a pretty good haul. It probably added about, I don't know what the right number is, 20 some new games to my collection.
Yeah.
My NES collection is now, I think, close to 100, if not over. It's going to surpass my Sega Master System collection, which is it's going to kind of be weird for me because I'm a Sega Master System guy, and having more Nintendo games than Sega Master System is, I don't know, it seems like it's blasphemous. But well, what the heck? I mean, when the NES has 7 or 7 times as many games as the Master System, that's bound to happen. So that's it. That's the pickup, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Other than to say, today in about 2 hours, an hour and a half,
For us.
the PlayStation 4 will come out on the West Coast. Will launch in the North America on the West Coast. And I'm sure there are people in line right now waiting to get their PlayStation 4. I am here instead talking about a system that's about 28 years old instead. So.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get a PlayStation 4 eventually, but not tonight because I don't think they're good. We didn't pre-order, so we're out of luck. But we have all these NES games to play instead.
I think we've got other things to busy us.
You think?
Yeah,
you think these?
I think so.
Maybe Dragon Warrior will keep us occupied for a little while. So yeah. All right.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.